I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I'd like to call Reverend Hannah. Please come up and try to keep Terry right straight over there. Thank you for being here.
Let us pray. Dear God, I thank you for this meeting today and pray your blessings upon the superintendent and school board, upon the staff and the work that they do. Lord, I pray for our schools, for principals and administrators, for staff. Lord, I thank you for our teachers, for our janitorial staff and lunchroom, Lord, so many people. But all of them, Lord, we pray most of all for our students. Lord, be with them and give wisdom and guidance to each one, helping them to become the people you would have them to be. And we give you thanks for these things, I pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Starting off, we'd like to have the recognition of employees who have completed the Aspiring Leaders Leadership Academy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
We thank you very much for allowing us to come before you today to recognize our aspiring leaders. This is our first group in many, many years that we've been able to work with. We had 29 individuals who applied for the Aspiring Leadership Program. We had 28 that were invited to attend. And the criteria that they had to meet was they, of course, had to submit an application, a resume. They had to have been teaching for at least 3 years, and they needed to be halfway finished with their Ed Leadership master's degree. They submitted that. They also submitted some additional information to us, written statements, answering some questions, and then they were invited to attend. And like I said, we had 28 who were invited to participate. Each participant was invited to attend 9 monthly meetings, and they had to complete 2 40-hour volunteer summer internships, one at the secondary level and one at the elementary level. So I'm very pleased that we are going to recognize 23 of ours who were able to complete the program. We do have a couple who were not able to join us today, but I did give you a packet just of some sample information that was provided to our participants. You have a copy of one of the PowerPoints that was used during one of our meetings, and then you also have a copy of the last piece we gave you. The exit interview that was completed with the principals at the schools where they did their internship. So it just gave us an opportunity to get a glimpse of what they had experienced during their internship and just to get some feedback from the principals as well. So I'm very proud, and we are going to at this time call each of our completers to the front so we can give them a certificate. So if you would help me in recognizing those. Ms. Crystal, would you like to come down front, or would you like the board chairman, or how would
I
you
will
like?
be very happy to do that. This is very exciting.
Okay.
She'll be fine.
So I'm going to ask our first recipient to come forward, Yolanda Brady. Our next recipient, Ramonda Clayton. Our next recipient, Steve Cummings. Travis Delaney.
What was the calendar?
Sherry Fields. Amy Getchell. Lacey Hawk. Melissa Hibbs.
Lacey, hold the noise down. Hold the noise down.
Amanda Akins. Erica Middleton. Lamar Purefoy.
I want to say a few words.
LaShonda Simmons.
Good to see you. Who's this young lady?
Michelle Tucker. Trina Ward.
I'm watching you, Tucker. You don't talk so big when you're up here, do you?
Barbara Warren. Sharice Williams. And Tammy Williams. If we could give them another round of applause. I must say this was a new experience for us. We learned as much as they did. We learned things that we know we will want to do differently. We know some areas that we want to continue to grow and improve, but we're very excited that we have some individuals who have a better working knowledge of what leadership entails within our district. So we're very proud and very excited to have this group.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm not in the ball. You can. Thank you all very much. Okay. Keandra Clayton, did you want to say anything? How you enjoyed it?
Don't pick on her.
I was just messing with you.
That was a lot of work for them to do while they're doing their job, and the fact that they stuck with it, and completed says a lot about them. And so we are in good hands with some future leaders for Putnam County Schools when those of us that are old retire.
Well,
Older.
okay, moving right along, and I couldn't help. And Keandra, I'm sorry I embarrassed you, but that was so much fun. Recognition, proclamation, National School Counseling Week, presentation of certificates to guidance counselor, and I'd like to ask Ms. Crawford to step down with the superintendent to Ms. Criswell, if you'd.
Absolutely.
Ms.
Being a
Weaver?
former counselor, that'd be great.
Well, Ms. Crawford thinks she's still the queen of the counselors, so, you know, got a pretty picture of her in camouflage and a orange cap here when she was a counselor.
Am I calling it out?
Do you have the proclamation?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you had it. I don't know where it is, but we'll just proceed
I
with the
might have it.
certificates.
I have enough stuff.
I'm going to just call the ladies up first who are here. You want to read your proclamation? That's for you to read.
All right, let's see. Proclamation, this is National School Counseling Week. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential, and whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development, and whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children, and whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves, and whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive developmental school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success in school. Therefore, we, the District School Board of Putnam County, do hereby proclaim February 1st through the 5th, 2016 as National School Counseling Week. And having been a former counselor, along with Jane, we know how hard they work. They do not get enough credit for what they do. There are not enough hours in the day for them to get everything done that they do, and we really appreciate their hard work with our students. So, at this time,
Okay.
Well, now, I always heard
I'll
that
pass them
Amanda
over to
Burney
you.
did all the work for them. I don't,
I trained her.
okay.
I'm going to call all the names out because I want all of our counselors to be recognized. They couldn't all be here with us today. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Deborah Buckles, and it is my pleasure to work with the counselors. So, and also having been a former counselor, I appreciate everything they do very much. So I'm going to call your name out, and if you're here, come forward, and if not, we'll just recognize those people, okay? Jamie Howard. Susan Farrar, who is not with us, Terry Love, Michelle Michael, Cindy David,
Hey, Michelle Michael.
Carrie Hodges, Sarah Wiley, Susanna Bender, Amy Bishop, Sandy Owen, Donna Pilling, Rosa Dowdy, Jamila Theobald, Sandy Hurst, Joy Eubanks, Kristen Stout, Susan Collins, Cheryl Brenner, Yolanda Brady, Kelly Guilfoy, Michael Stevens, Michael Chairs, Becky Moats, Amanda Burney, and Marlene Ogle.
Helping my children get out of school.
Miss Bernie's the one that did everything for Miss Crawford.
My kids are going to graduate because of Miss Bernie.
I also think
were
it's
thankful.
worth mentioning that we have a mother-daughter team up here. We have a mother who raised a guidance counselor. Miss Pilling, you and Jamie, raise your hands, let them know.
I think Miss Michael's son's gonna be a guidance counselor.
He needs guidance.
You can get out of alternate class on it. I'm just, that was a joke.
Yeah, he contributed to the delinquency of you.
Oh, boy, that was really neat.
Again, those counselors work really hard. We know that all of them couldn't be here today. Anytime that you want to hear about all that counselors do, I'm sure Ms. Crawford would be happy to tell us. She did it for a lot of years, and the joy and the frustration at the same time can be
After
overwhelming.
in tears.
And especially at the high school level where you're trying to make sure they have their credits and get out on time. Oh, my goodness, if you've never experienced that, wow. But thank
We
you.
don't pay him enough.
Next is the public comment guide, and if anyone has not filled out a card and would like to address the board, now would be a good time to get it in. If not, we have one from this strange gentleman named Mr. Pignato that no one probably knows. But Jim, if you would like to come up and address the board, we would be honored to listen to you.
I received from Ms. Sharon a rule. I have to speak into the microphone, state my name, and spell it. My name is Jim Pignato. It's Pignato. 106 Oak Grove Drive. I represent the Musical Theater Department of Putnam County. Okay.
All right.
I know it's not stage fright.
I knew it was going to happen, though.
There's no stage fright.
I'm here to thank the board for your most generous gift to the musical theater students of Putnam County. The members of the board know that the county's high school musical theater program, which is based at Palatka High School, is a countywide program and the only one of its kind in the county. Because most monies provided for faculty must go to required academic subjects, many schools simply do not have enough teacher allocations to allow them to have theater programs or other important electives. There are a multitude of studies that show the benefits of arts programs to student growth and development. Participation in the arts has consistently been shown to increase thinking and reasoning skills and increase test scores. The positive effects of a successful, respected, and highly visible Putnam County student activity to people from all over the Southeast and beyond is a huge plus for a county which often gets no respect. Our musical theater program
Okay, take your time.
Our musical theater program has sent at least 50 students into the professional world of music, opera, theater, dance, cruise ship entertainment, television, and film. I have a list of 50. I'm sure there are more. You have allowed us to continue being able to perform each show for over 3,000 local school children who might never experience the wonder and magic of live theater without this program. Incidentally, our school matinees sell out in a matter of minutes once the invitation is presented. We have 7 schools on our waiting list for this show. We thank Superintendent Criswell for resurrecting our program and other arts programs in schools as she promised when elected. We thank you, members of the school board, who have validated us by your faith in us and your support for us. We are extremely excited about our next show, Mary Poppins. It is the full-length 2-act Broadway show and is the largest, most difficult, and most expensive show we have done since 2004's Titanic. An incredible crew of adult volunteers and an amazing, hardworking, talented cast of students from all over Putnam County help us provide professional quality shows for which we can all be proud. So from our students, our volunteers, our entire community, and myself, I say a very sincere thank you.
That's hard for him to do.
I know Miss Crawford really wants to be in the play, but I don't think that you could.
He
find a
knows
spot
what I
for her.
sound like when I sing.
I've heard her sing too. It's not good.
It's so nice that he came today, that he didn't have to do that. He came to thank us, but we should thank him. I can't tell you the number of students he has touched over the years, the lives he's changed, the confidence he's instilled in students. And as you as a school board continue to try to meet not only the academic needs of students, but also their many and varied interests, anything that we can do to meet those needs helps create the whole child and gives us a much better citizen as they grow. And this program, I just can't tell you the effect it's had, not only on the students, but on the community as a whole. And the numbers of community members that he has come and volunteer, they do everything. They build sets, they put up lights, you name it, everything that's involved with the
wigs.
play. And it's an amazing operation to see them do, and I just can't say enough about it. It's a huge operation, and we rightfully have supported it and hope to continue to. I hope he'll do this till, the end of the
Wheelchair.
world. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Jim.
And he graduated
Always
from Florida State.
appreciate it.
I'm not going to say that, but you can.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That's great. He does a wonderful job. My grandchildren crawl all over the seats when they go to the show and just laugh
it.
right out loud. They do, yes.
It's wonderful.
We're going to enter on to the consent agenda presented by Superintendent Criswell. I'm going to need any items along the consent agenda that board members wish to pull. If you would let me know, we'll write them down and we'll go ahead and proceed with the consent agenda. Not hearing any, I will need a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Terry Wright and a second by Ms. Crawford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Wow. That covered a lot of ground. We need to have workshops more often.
What did I just hear out of his mouth?
Yeah, he hates it.
Emergency session, Mr. Chair.
Emergency session, we have several items. Let's go with, let me say, we're now in emergency session. I have several items that we need to look at. One is, number one, 2015-2016 personnel allocations, change number 12.4, justification, explanation, time sensitive.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
move it be accepted.
we had a motion to approve.
Second?
Second from Ms. Cummings. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Number two, overnight trip, QI Roberts, junior, senior high, FFA, to Tampa, Florida. Justification, explanation is time sensitive.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
move it be approved.
Second?
I have a motion and a second from Ms. Cummings, a motion from Mr. Wright. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Overnight trip, QI Roberts, junior, senior high, FFA, to Tallahassee, Florida. Justification, explanation that it is time sensitive.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
move it be approved.
Have a motion from Terry Wright,
Second?
a second from Ms. Cummings. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Number four, approval of Putnam County School District Educational Foundation, Inc. Board of Directors. Justification, explanation, time sensitive.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
move that be approved.
Second?
I have a motion from Terry Wright and a second from Nikki Cummings. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. All right, now, we're out of emergency session. And let me find my way back into this.
Board member reports.
We are now at
Board member
old
reports.
business discussion. Do we have any old business?
None.
Having no old business, then we'll move on to new business discussion. Having no new business, we will move on to the reports by board members. This is getting very quick. I can tell the transportation workshop certainly did a lot today. Reports by board members. I'd like to start by calling on Ms. Crawford.
Well, we've been busy the last couple of weeks since we last met. I had the opportunity to go to James A. Long and judge the Gifted Students projects, the students of Casey, I wrote down Parish, but it's Griffiths. We've got some really smart students in our school system. They just amazed me with their projects. I also got my first, thanks to Mr. Buckles, had to sit on my first audit exit interview conference. It was very interesting, and I learned a lot, and I think we did really well. From what I understood, we did really well. It's always an honor to participate in the Teacher of the Year banquet and presentation, and we're so lucky to have so many wonderful teachers and support people in our system. It was great to see them all. The career fair at Jenkins, that was fun being involved in that. From several different careers that I've been in. I enjoyed that. And I really would like to thank all the businesses and individuals and school teachers and students who came from our high schools that participated in that. And let me tell you, Phyllis was there. The Putnam County Spelling Bee, that is a nerve wracker. I just like, my heart beat so quickly through that entire thing. I was a nervous wreck, and I just thought I was a good speller until I went to that. But congratulations to Jaden Wicker from James A. Long for winning, and to Savannah Fleming from Mosley, who was the runner-up. They were just adorable. Next week, I'm going to be traveling to Howey in the Hills, Florida, if I can find it, and for some training that the rest of the board members have already done in policy, governance, and boardmanship, and so I'll be hopefully caught up to date with them.
Just take Highway 19 south and keep going.
Well, that's what Carrie
find
said, but I don't know.
Okay. All right, Ms. Cummings.
We had a workshop today about transportation, and I just tell you, it's such a difficult thing in our county when we think of something so simple as kids getting on a school bus and kids that don't have the luxury of a parent getting them ready for school and maybe having the option to take them. It's a very hard decision to think about whether or not we continue to fund so much more than the state provides money for us. We have to take it out of general fund, and it is it's just something that people take for granted. Again, I think our county has so many challenges. I thank all the teachers for continuing to spend the time and getting to know those kids, whether it's providing them the snack packs on the weekend or clothes or shoes. I mean, there's so many things that I see every day, and when we have these issues like transportation, it makes me reflect on how many people it takes to really help these kids. And again, teachers, custodians, and all the people that are involved with our kids, I'm amazed, because it's a unbelievable task. And again, I hope that we can make wise decisions when it comes to transportation and trying to save money and trying to transport kids in a safe manner. So we continue to look for ways to make sure we're very conscientious of how we spend our money. Believe me, it's a hard decision if we ever talk about, well, we can't pick those kids up because they're not within the limit of what the state says. And that's something that breaks my heart when we have to think about money. Yeah, and so thanks again for all the hard work for transportation department. Again, those bus drivers, wow, I can't even tell you how much I admire them and think the world of their jobs and what they have to do every day. So thanks again for all our support staff. That's all.
Mr. Wright.
Mr. Buckles, I have the privilege of serving on the state legislative committee. What we do, for those of you who don't know, there are members from every district that meet back in the summer, and we come up with a legislative platform that we're going to take to Tallahassee. So I'll be leaving tonight, heading to Tallahassee. Mr. Buckles will be joining me tomorrow, and we'll be advancing our 2016 Florida School Board Association legislative platform. And I'll quickly tell you there are 4 points that we adopt. And the way that works is you're in a room with 50, 60 people, and everybody starts throwing out their ideas and what they want to see advanced, what they want done, things they want changed. And all of you know who are educators, you put them up on a big whiteboard or up on butcher paper, and you go through, and they start circling this, then you start voting, and you vote on this, and you vote on that, so things get eliminated. And then you work on the phraseology, the wording, and then you come up with a platform. So what I'm going to read you real quickly is the end result of a very long process that took a couple of days down in Tampa. So this is what we will be advancing this week in front of the legislators in Tallahassee. Quickly, it's this. First of all, we're recommending that they halt the practice of using statewide standardized test results for any purpose other than diagnostic purposes. So anything other than just diagnostic purposes, we're saying don't do it. Second, provide sufficient per student funding to place Florida in the upper quartile nationally and to ensure that funding for each categorical allocation within the FEFP is sufficient to cover actual costs, hello transportation, growth, and inflation. It is not reduced by either enrollment or revenue changes during the fiscal year. As many of you know, and Rhonda has to ride this wave, as things shift and adjust based on student count, our funding changes. So we're saying that's not fair. Excuse me. We're saying that's not fair to us, it's not fair to our students, and it's hard to hit a moving target. Third thing we're going to be recommending and pushing is restore the authority for school districts to levy by simple majority vote up to 2 mills for capital purposes, and to maintain the current authority of school districts to determine the use of local capital outlay millage revenue. And then finally, to protect taxpayer dollars by ensuring all schools, emphasis on all schools, that receive state funds, they must adhere to the same fiscal and academic accountability measures as public schools. So just think about us as we will walk and we'll visit our legislators. We'll be talking about this. Some of these ideas have been processed through and been put into bills. Some of them, bills are forthcoming. So that's what we'll be doing this week, and hopefully give you a good report next time.
Looking forward to that. Terry and I will join you tomorrow up in Tallahassee. But I had my report, I listened to Ms. Crawford talk about James A. Long. I went and ate lunch with a couple of my grandchildren today at James A. Long, and I was really surprised. Unlike Mr. Wright and I, who would be talking about other issues in school, I had about 12 little girls sitting with my granddaughters, and they were all talking about the word elaboration and the different words and descriptions of how to elaborate. And I thought, you know, you ought to get in that class and maybe pick up some of those things. I was really impressed. Ms. Crawford hit the nail on the head. We have some bright children. And I like Harry Varnadoe's letter to the editor in the Daily News today. If a child, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. And all children don't learn the same way on the same day. And there is no cookie cutter approach to education. And I listened to the standardized testing question before the legislature. Jeb Bush isn't doing too well, and I think things might swing in the other direction pretty soon, which, whether you're sad or glad, education could stand a change as that pendulum once again swings back away from criteria and reference testing. But other than that, I feel like Ms. Criswell and the staff have a good grip on things. I love to see the transportation facility coming along, and I was really pleased to hear Mr. Simons today talk about the transportation issues, which are many and varied. And with that, I'll pass it on to the board attorney.
Thank you. Things are going well on the law side. There's a Florida School Board Attorney Association meeting this Friday and Saturday. So at our next board meeting, we'll be happy to report what is new on that front.
Madam Superintendent.
Okay. Couple of things real quick. First of all, David Garcia and Marquez Johnson, they are students of ours in Crescent City. They have won their way through the state and regional championships with the Putnam County Police Athletic League, and now have the opportunity to compete at the national level. So these two young men will leave for Kansas City, Missouri tomorrow.
Wow.
So once again, we have representation on that national level with these PAL boxers, and these students do a tremendous job. They work very hard, and we're really excited about that. So you all keep them in your thoughts as they proceed. We also have C.H. Price Middle School top students are presenting their 4th annual Patriotic Art Show and Silent Auction, and that will be Friday evening, February 5th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at C.H. Price Middle School. And you can come and join us for an amazing night filled with handmade art from the students at Price. And of course, the purpose of the silent auction is to raise money for their upcoming trip to visit Washington, D.C. in the spring. So if you're available, please come out. Refreshments will be served and the artist will be present. And again, thank you for participating today in the workshop with transportation. Transportation is one of your 15 departments in the school district. It takes a lot of people, a lot of departments, a lot of effort to run this very large school district of almost 11,000 students, 18 schools, about 15, almost 1,600 employees. It's a large operation. It's like running a small nation. And we have great employees who work very hard at that every day. And so we appreciate your listening to all of the issues from each of the departments. Certainly, you aren't there in the department every day. We have to give you that background information so that you understand. So as you get phone calls and make decisions, you'll have all the knowledge you need to do so. And I appreciate working with you and enjoyed the workshop today. And that's all I have today. Thank you.
Okay, and we have also, you have a report from the Children's Reading Center Charter School financial statement. You have that for October 2015, and the Edge New Tech Charter High School financial statement for November 2015. Does this require any action, or just that we present it to you?
Just
Okay.
as available, right?
All right, so you have that, and with nothing else, I will conclude the meeting. Thank you.